The text message wasn't meant for me, but I saw it anyway. Meet me at the usual place, 11 p.m. I miss you. And the name at the top? Marcus, my ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago, the one I told everyone I was over. I stared at my phone, heart racing, knowing exactly what I was about to do, knowing it would destroy the man who gave up everything to be with me. Choi Min-jun, the most feared Korean Mafia boss in Seoul. The man who walked away from his empire, his family, his legacy, all because he loved me. A waitress, a nobody, a woman who was still in love with someone else. 6 months ago, Min-jun did the impossible. He left the Choi family. You don't just leave a Mafia dynasty. You're either killed or you disappear forever. But Min-jun negotiated his exit, gave up his territories, handed over billions, all because the elders said he couldn't marry me. She's not Korean. She has no connections. She brings nothing. They said it like stating a fact, and Min-jun heard them, then chose me anyway. I don't care about the empire, he told the entire family council. I care about her. I should have felt like the luckiest woman alive. Instead, I felt trapped, because 3 days before his announcement, Marcus had texted me after 3 years of silence. I made a mistake letting you go. Can we talk? I should have deleted it, told Min-jun immediately, but I didn't. I responded. I'm with someone now. I know, but are you happy? That question broke something open inside me. Was I happy? Min-jun was everything Marcus wasn't. Powerful, protective, loyal. But Marcus made me laugh. Marcus felt easy. Being with Min-jun felt like living inside a storm. Beautiful, dangerous, exhausting. So when Marcus kept texting, I kept responding. Nothing physical, just talking, reconnecting, falling. By the time Min-jun walked away from his empire, I was already emotionally cheating. And I hated myself for it. But I couldn't stop. If you've ever been stuck between what you want and what's right, subscribe now, because this gets so much worse. Tonight was supposed to be our celebration. 6 months since Min-jun left everything behind. He'd built a new life, a legitimate business, a quiet apartment in Itaewon. No guards, no violence, no fear, just us. He'd planned this dinner for weeks, made reservations at the restaurant where we first met. I want to show you how far we've come, he said that morning. I smiled, kissed him, and checked my phone the second he left. Marcus had texted again. I'm in Seoul. 1 drink, that's all I'm asking. My hands shook typing the response. I can't. Please, I flew here just to see you. That should have been a red flag, but all I felt was wanted. Min-jun wanted me, yes, but Marcus needed me. Or at least that's what I told myself. 11 p.m., 1 hour, then I'm gone forever. Our dinner reservation was at 7. I could make both. I was an idiot. At dinner, Min-jun was perfect. He'd worn the navy suit I loved, brought flowers, held my hand like I was something precious. I don't regret it, he said quietly. Leaving everything. I'd do it again. Guilt twisted in my stomach. Min-jun, you saved me from becoming something I hated. I should have told him right then, confessed everything. Instead, I checked my phone under the table. Still on for 11? Marcus. I typed back. Yes. At 10:45 p.m., I lied. Must have been something I ate. I'm going to head home early. Concern filled his face immediately. I'll come with you. No, stay. I'll be fine. I kissed his cheek, walked out, and took a cab to meet another man. Marcus was waiting at a quiet bar in Gangnam. He looked exactly the same, familiar, safe, wrong. You came, he said, smiling. I shouldn't be here. But you are. We talked for 20 minutes, then an hour, then 2. He told me about his life in New York, his failed relationships, how he realized I was the one he let get away. Come with me, he said suddenly. Back to New York, start over. Marcus, I can't just... Why not? You're not married. You don't have kids. What's keeping you here? Min-jun, the man who gave up everything. But I didn't say that. I just sat there, considering. That's when I heard the voice behind me. So this is where you've been. I turned. And my world ended. Min-jun stood in the entrance of the bar, not angry, just broken. Min-jun, I can explain. How long? His voice was eerily calm. What? How long have you been seeing him? We're just talking. He laughed. It was the saddest sound I'd ever heard. I gave up everything for you, and you've been lying to me. Marcus stood up. Look, man, I don't want trouble. Min-jun didn't even look at him. Leave. Now. Before I forget, I'm not that person anymore. Marcus left, like a coward, and I sat there facing the man whose heart I'd just shattered. Comment below. Would you have told the truth earlier? Or kept the secret? I need to know what you think. Min-jun didn't yell, didn't threaten, didn't even cry. He just looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. I need to know one thing, he said quietly. Do you love him? The question hung in the air. Honest answer? I didn't know. I loved the idea of Marcus, the freedom, the escape from being the woman who destroyed a mafia boss's legacy. But Min-jun was real love. Terrifying, all-consuming, burn-the-world-down love. I don't know, I whispered. He nodded slowly. Then I have my answer. He turned to leave. Wait, Min-jun, please. Explain what? That you've been texting your ex while I was building us a life? That you lied about where you were tonight? That while I was giving up everything, you were keeping one foot out the door? Every word was a knife. I was scared, I said desperately. Scared of what loving you meant, scared I wasn't enough. You were always enough. I told you that every single day, but you didn't believe me. He walked out. I tried to follow, but he got in a cab and disappeared. 3 days passed. He wouldn't answer my calls. His apartment was empty. It was like he'd vanished. On day 4, I received a letter, handwritten, from Min-jun. I loved you more than I've ever loved anything, but I can't compete with a ghost. I can't fight for someone who doesn't want to be fought for. I gave up my empire because I thought I was gaining something better. I was wrong. Not about you, about us. I hope you find whatever you were looking for, but I can't be your backup plan. I deserve more than that. Goodbye, Amara. I read it 10 times. Then I did something stupid. I called Marcus. It's over with Min-jun, I said. You were right. That's amazing. When can you leave Seoul? Give me a week. We hung up, and I felt nothing. No relief, no joy, just emptiness. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Min-jun, the way he looked at me in that bar, the way his voice broke when he said I loved you. Loved, past tense. I grabbed my laptop, started going through old photos, and that's when I saw it. A folder I'd never opened. For Amara? Open if something happens to me. My hands shook clicking it. Inside were videos, dozens of them, all from Min-jun, dated over the past 6 months. I opened the first one. His face filled the screen. Hi, if you're watching this, it means I'm probably gone. I started recording these the day I left my family. I wanted you to know why I did it, really why. He smiled sadly. Everyone thinks I gave up my empire for love. And that's true, but it's not the whole truth. I gave it up because that world was killing me. Every day I became less human, more monster. I was drowning. And then I met you. And for the first time in years, I remembered what it felt like to breathe. Tears streamed down my face. He continued, You didn't save me because you were perfect. You saved me because you were real. You laughed at my terrible jokes. You called me out when I was being an ass. You saw me as a person, not a title. That's why I love you. Not because you're beautiful. Not because you need me. But because you made me want to be better. The video ended. I opened the next one. And the next. Each one was a message, a confession, a piece of his heart. In one, he talked about the nightmares of becoming like his father. In another, he described the exact moment he knew he wanted to marry me. In another, he admitted he was terrified I'd realize I deserved better. I know I'm not easy to love, he said in the last video, dated 3 days ago. I know I come with baggage and darkness, but I'm trying, for you. I'm trying to be the man you deserve. I just hope it's enough. It was dated the night of our celebration dinner, before everything fell apart. I sat there sobbing, realizing what I'd done, what I'd thrown away. I called Marcus the next morning. "I can't come to New York." Silence. "What? Why?" "Because I'm in love with someone else." "You said it was over." "It is, but that doesn't change how I feel." I hung up, blocked his number, and went to find Min-jun. His apartment was still empty. His business was being run by a manager who said he'd taken indefinite leave. Nobody knew where he was. I tried everything, called his old contacts, went to the Choi family estate. They slammed the door in my face, searched every place we'd ever been together. Nothing. 2 weeks passed, then a month. I was losing hope, until one night I got a call from an unknown number. "Stop looking for him." The voice was female, older, authoritative. "Who is this?" "Someone who cares about Min-jun more than you ever did." "Where is he?" "Gone. He left Seoul, left Korea. He's starting over somewhere you'll never find him." "Please, I need to talk to him." "Okay, tell him what? That you're sorry?" "He knows, and he's choosing to move forward without you. Respect that." "But I love him." "You loved the idea of him, but you didn't love him enough to be honest. You didn't love him enough to fight for him when it mattered." The line went dead. I stood there, destroyed. Because she was right. I didn't fight for him. I took his love for granted. And now he was gone. 3 months later, I found out who had called me. Min-jun's mother. She'd been the one protecting him. I wrote her a letter, begged her to give it to him. She never responded. But 2 weeks later, a package arrived. Inside was a single item. The navy suit jacket, the one he wore to our celebration dinner. No note, no explanation, just the jacket. I held it, breathed in his cologne, and understood what it meant. Goodbye, final, permanent, irreversible. It's been a year now. I still live in Seoul, still work, still exist, but I'm not the same person. I think about Min-jun every day, wonder where he is, if he's happy, if he ever thinks about me. I hope he doesn't. I hope he found someone who deserves him, someone who wouldn't throw away his love for a fantasy. People ask if I regret it. The answer is complicated. I regret lying. I regret not being brave enough to be honest. I regret hurting the one person who saw me as more than I saw myself. But I don't regret him leaving, because he deserved better than someone who wasn't sure. He gave up everything for me, and I gave up everything by letting him go. The irony isn't lost on me. I have my freedom now, my independence, my easy life, but I'd trade it all for one more conversation, one more chance to tell him the truth. I loved him. I was just too scared to admit it, too scared of what that love demanded, too scared of becoming the woman he needed me to be. And now I'm that woman, but he's not here to see it. Last week I saw something that broke me all over again. A news article, small, barely noticeable, about a businessman in Singapore making waves in tech investment. The photo was blurry, but I knew it was him, older, different somehow, but alive, thriving, moving on. I stared at that photo for hours, wanting to reach through the screen, wanting to apologize, wanting to beg for another chance. But I didn't, because love isn't about what you want. It's about what the other person needs. And Min-jun needs peace. He needs to build a life without the weight of someone who couldn't choose him. So I let him go. Again. Fully this time. Not because I stopped loving him, but because I finally learned what love actually means. Sometimes love is sacrifice. Sometimes love is walking away. Sometimes love is giving someone the freedom to heal, even if it destroys you. Choi Min-jun gave up everything for me. His empire, his family, his identity, and I gave up the one thing that mattered. Him. I live with that every day. The girl who had everything and lost it because she didn't know its value until it was gone. If he ever reads this, if he ever hears this story, I want him to know you were right to leave, you were right to choose yourself, you were right to demand more than half-hearted love, and I'm sorry it took losing you to understand what I had. I hope Singapore treats you better than I did. I hope you find someone who fights for you the way you fought for me. I hope you're happy, because you deserve it. Even if I'm not there to see it. If you've ever realized you loved someone after they were already gone, this one hurt. Subscribe because these stories don't get easier, they get real. Comment your country below. Let me know where heartbreak is listening from.